Alright, ladies and gents, this will be an important video for you to watch as your interview is coming up. Deciding what to wear and how to look most professional for an interview is always important, and just your appearance alone can make a huge impact on first impressions. Therefore, this video is going to walk you through what is appropriate to wear, what are some recommendations, and we are going to do it for both girls and guys. First off, let me start by addressing virtual versus in-person interviews. At the end of the day, you should be dressing all the way up even if you have a virtual interview, with the exception of wearing nice shoes. Some virtual interviews will hold mixer events where you can socialize with other students, and there might be a moment where you just have to stand up. So only trying to dress up the top half of your body might come back to bite you. Plus, if you go through the process of dressing up your entire body, chances are you will take the interview a little bit more serious and act as if it was in person anyways. So let's move on to the actual dressing up process. Well, girls and guys will have some different guidelines, so we are going to go through one at a time. These pictures are just outlines to show briefly what kind of apparel is appropriate for a professional interview like this, so feel free to reference these pictures. And if you have any questions about what something I reference may look like, just follow what I describe, and if you Google that, it should give you an idea of what it looks like. Okay, ladies first. The first thing you want to know about choosing what to wear is to keep things simple and conservative. Because this is such a professional interview, colors like black, gray, or navy blue work really well. Girls, you essentially have two options: a suit blazer with pants or a skirt, or a full-on dress. For the suit or pants, remember to keep it dark and traditionally colored like I mentioned before, and if you choose to wear a skirt, make sure it goes down to the knee area and isn't revealing at all. A button-down shirt or blouse is a good top option to go with for that outfit. If you choose to wear a dress instead, remember to not wear anything revealing and to stick with conservative colors. Regardless of what you choose to wear, the things you should avoid are wearing something revealing or wearing something that's bright and flashy. They don't work well in a professional interview because you're trying to keep the attention on what you are saying and not on anything that might distract, like your outfit. For makeup, you should wear a light concealer or powder. Things like mascara, eyeliner, and lipstick are fine, but don't go overboard with anything. Remember that you are trying to not have anything pop and stand out too much. Jewelry is fine as long as it's simple. Especially with the earrings, try to avoid wearing dangling earrings and stick to something like studs. Any nail polish you wear should follow the same principles of being moderate, so you should avoid any bright colors or elaborate patterns. And finally, if you have any tattoos, try your best to cover them up. If they are in an area that cannot be covered, that's okay, but you should try your best to not have them visible. Now, anything I mentioned with shoes, you can disregard if you are doing a virtual interview, since that is the one thing you shouldn't worry about. But if you are in person, you want to make sure to wear something comfortable. There is a good chance you will be doing a lot of walking and standing, so making sure your feet don't start to hurt is important. Heels, including low heels, look a bit more professional, but flats are fine too, it's honestly just preference. It goes without saying that your shoes should be closed-toed and should also abide by the same conservative tones that the rest of your outfit follows, so please do not show up in bright red shoes. Besides that, there are a few random things you should plan on bringing with you to the interview. You should plan for the weather, whatever it may be, so make sure to bring a coat, umbrella, poncho, whatever seems necessary. You should avoid bringing any flashy or extravagant accessories with you because, again, it will start to distract people. During your actual interview, it will be smart to have a folder and pen so you can collect papers that are handed to you, store business cards, and have something to write with. You should also bring a resume and any published articles with you to the interview that you can hand to your interviewer. It may seem silly because you just submitted an application with all that stuff, but letting the interviewer have direct access to it might make the interview process more convenient and allow them to directly ask you about things you have done. Now, let's shift to the boys. Gentlemen, unlike the girls, you only have one option. You must wear a suit. This means wearing the blazer with a tie on top of a nice dress shirt. And just like the girls, the color guidelines are the same here. Picking a black, gray, or navy blue shirt is ideal. You also want the suit to be comfortable, well cut, and well fit. Please do not show up in a suit that is way too small or way too big for you. If you have any tags or pins from other schools on your blazer, you should remove those before starting the interview. Also, Ensure that your blazer and pants are well cleaned and ironed. Avoid wrinkled clothing as best as possible, and this is why in my other video about preparing for the interview, I mentioned how important it is to fold your clothes neatly when packing them. Choosing a shirt and tie can be somewhat difficult, but at the end of the day, they should match the suit you picked out. I know picking a white shirt is very common for some reason, but I actually advise against doing that. The white will pop out a little too much, and you should try to stick with either solid colors or patterned shirts that have some color to them. However, avoid any bright colors. The tie can either match the suit you pick, or it could even match the color of the school. I remember for my Texas Tech interview here in Texas, I chose to wear a red tie only because it was a school color. Gentlemen, your shoe choices are fairly simple here. Either brown or black dressy shoes. It goes without saying they should be closed-toed, but please make sure they are actually nice shoes. Do not show up in some dark pair of tennis shoes that look clean. Wear an actual dressy pair of shoes. But, like I said earlier, if your interview is virtual, you won't have to worry about this part. Finally, the other things you should bring are very similar to the girls. You should plan for the weather accordingly, so bring a jacket, coat, or umbrella. If you choose to wear something like a watch, make sure it is modest and not super flashy. Do not show up in a bright gold watch or a watch that has diamonds all over it. Just a simple Apple Watch, silver watch, or dressy watch will do the trick. You should also bring a folder and pen so you have a place to keep everything you are handed. In addition, you should also bring your resume and anything you've published directly to your interview. When you hand those things to the interviewer, they have easier access to things you have done, and it makes the interview process a lot easier. Finally, if you have any facial hair, please ensure that it is either trimmed or groomed nicely. Don't show up looking like a lumberjack that just forgets about his facial hair. At the end of the day, if you don't want to deal with it, the traditional clean-shaven look always works too.